14 seconds.
Okay, so just don't push around too much, okay, Rich?
Hey, Dad, stream's up.
Sorry, Scott, the middle button is call, so that just calls us to let us know, and the button on the side is to push.
Yeah, you can go look on your phone if you want.
Scott, for your information, the room behind you is a room, like a lounge, so that you can sit in. I think there's a connection in there too, separate from the guests there.
Here, I'll find the embed code and send it over to you.
Scott, there's also a washer. Well, it's kind of okay up here because this booth it's very soundproof. You hear how quiet it is? Like there's lots of people in the shortage, but you can't hear them. They can't hear us because this booth is so soundproof. And all those tiles on the wall and all those panels with all of the foam are high there. It's meant to absorb sound waves.
Well, I think we're going to get started here, and people will come in as we go. So we want to try and keep as much as possible on schedule, and we've got an exciting day planned for you. So my name is Scott Mills, and I'm the Vice President of the Spanish-Speaking Education Network. This is Manuela Astudillo. And she is a volunteer in the community, and she's with Voces Latinas Radio, and she's a Humber College student. And we're going to be your MCs for the day. So we're going to try and make this day flow really nicely for everybody so that we all enjoy it, get something out of it. And you know, we arrive as strangers, but we're going to leave as friends. So I'm a Toronto police officer, and I work in corporate communications. And my job is a social media officer. So I'm just going to put something up here on the screen here to show you what we're doing here today with social media and how you can help, because one of our goals is to get this get this information to people that aren't able to be here today. And those people might be in a different country anywhere in the world, and we want to inspire them to be successful. And so this is all being live streamed to YouTube. That's why I've got this little headset on, because we're talking with people up here in the booth that are doing a live feed to YouTube. So everything that we do up here is going live onto YouTube. And I'm going to show you where you can find those videos. So this is the Spanish Speaking Education Network website that you're seeing up here. And the address for it is ssen.ca. And when you go onto that ssen.ca, when you go right over to here, there's a little thing called Watch SSS-EDU. And when you click on that, it has everything that we're doing here in YouTube videos going live there. So there's about a 5-second delay. and it goes on YouTube for everybody to see. So if you have somebody that's at home that would like to join in, but they can't be here for one reason or another, or somebody says something that you like and you're really interested in, and you want to go back and show it to someone else or listen to it again, you can just go to ssen.ca and click on the watch live, and all these videos will be there and you can watch them later. So one thing you can do if you have a Facebook account or Twitter or anything like that is you can say that you're at the Ontario Science Centre and you're watching some of these great people do presentations, and you can watch for yourself by going to ssen.ca, and if you want to go right to the live page, it's /live. Okay? So we're really grateful. It's my son Adam and a co-worker at Toronto Police Service, Rochelle Burnett. So Adam Mills and Rochelle Burnett are actually up in that booth up there working with a man named Brian Bettesworth from the Ontario Science Centre. And the three of them together, along with Manuelo and I, are putting that all together. And we're just hoping to reach people. And the best way that we can get to reach people is if you share that with people. Okay? So thanks very much for being here. Just a few items of housekeeping. We're going to try and keep on schedule. We're about 20 minutes late right now because we're waiting for a bus, so there is more people coming, but they'll be able to watch it on YouTube later, I guess, for the parts they missed. So we're going to get right to it. There are washrooms. If you need the washroom, feel free to get up and leave if you have to go to the washroom. You just go out the back door here and straight across, and there's some washrooms there. And also out in the food area where you came in to register, if you turn left from there, down by the child minding area, there are some washrooms there. So at lunch, there's a free lunch for everybody that's here. And then we're going to get together again for some presentations at 1 o'clock and at 2 o'clock in the IMAX Theatre here at the Ontario Science Centre. They're showing two really great movies, and it's a IMAX theater is basically you've got a screen all around you, and it's for the kids, and we've booked enough for each of them. One is the 2 o'clock one is on whales, and I think the 1 o'clock one is on mermaids, and they're 50 minutes each, so just a little less than an hour. And if the kids want to go and watch those, they're welcome to go in there and watch them. You just go up to the door, and I think you got your tickets at the door. You said if you wanted to go to a movie and which one you wanted to go to. So I'm pretty excited about that. I thought it was a really, really great thing for the kids to be able to watch these movies in IMAX. So I'm going to turn this over to Manuela, and she's going to introduce our singer for O Canada, and she's going to. We're both going to co-introduce our first speaker, Catherine Paisley from the Ontario Science Centre.
Thank you, Scott. Buenos días, ¿cómo están? Well, welcome to the 7th Congress of Education. I'd like to introduce to you Natalie Castro. I'm sure many of you have heard of her and have heard her music in various radio stations. She is the ambassador of Joaquin Medical Center, and she has performed all around Canada, in Ottawa and Montreal, as well as in Chicago in the United States. So please put your hands together for Natalie Castro.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' commands, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true, know strong and free. from far and wide. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Un pequeño recordatorio que todas las personas que quisieran que sus familiares o amigos vean todo lo que está sucediendo aquí, pueden irse a la página de SEN, sen.ca, con el /live y otro /. Todas las personas que no se encuentran aquí van a poder ver eso en vivo de todo lo que está sucediendo en este momento. We're going to introduce Catherine Paisley. She joined the Ontario Science Centre in 2000 as the Associate Director for the Creative Learning Experience. Now she is the Vice President for the Science Education, and she's part of the senior team for the Centre. She's responsible of strategic and operational leadership, and she also oversees all the facets of the organization's formal and informal education activities. Catherine also holds the position of past president of the Canadian Association for the Science Centre, CASC. She originally joined the board for the CASC in 2007 and has held the role of treasurer, vice president, and president. Catherine has an undergraduate degree in business from Ryerson University and a graduate degree in education from the OIC-UT. Please put your hand together for Catherine.
Welcome to the Ontario Science Centre. It's nice to see so many of you here. I know it's a beautiful day today, and so to choose to come and be inside. Sorry, the lights are so bright, I can't hardly see. Anyway, welcome to the Science Centre. How many of you have been to the Science Centre before today? About half, not bad, not bad. Well, hopefully you'll be able to spend a little bit of time exploring as you go through your day. So I'm going to talk a little bit about developing a passion for STEM. And I'm not sure if the slides are all going to work. It looks like it's kind of a little bit off the screen there, but I'll do my best here. I'll talk a little bit about the Ontario Science Centre. I'll talk a bit about STEM, the learning influences on children, and then free choice science learning. So the Ontario Science Centre. We were actually the first science centre in the world. You might not know that here in your own hometown. We opened our doors in 1969, and we were actually a gift to the people of Ontario in celebration of Canada's 100th birthday. So it took us a couple of years to open our doors, but we opened in 1969. As the first science center in the world. Shortly thereafter, the Exploratorium opened in California, and since then, there's about 2,400 science centers around the world. It's on every continent, but Antarctica, we actually have a science center. And 8 million people, so we have a number of science centers across the country as well. 8 million people visit science centers every year across Canada. So these are a number, sorry, the slides are a little bit not good. More numbers. 50 million people have come through our doors since we opened in 1969. We celebrated or welcomed our 50 millionth visitor this past summer. So if you think about that, that's 1.5 times the population of the country have visited the Ontario Science Centre. The other numbers that we've got there are just a handful. We had over 900,000 people visit the Science Center last year. Over 100,000 people of those 900 came through one of our access programs. We believe that means should never be a barrier to visiting the Science Center, and so we have a number of programs that allows people to come if they can't afford to do so. We had a citizenship ceremony here as well at the Science Center, right here in this room actually, and we welcomed 60 new Canadians last year. We're also involved in a program where every new Canadian gets a pass that they can come and visit the Science Center. They can also go to the art gallery, the museum, a number of different places like that. We really believe that the Science Center is part of being a Canadian and visiting the Science Center, and so we support that through this program that we do with the Institute for Canadian Citizenship. We've got a number of members. We have programs like sleepovers, where you can come and sleep at the Science Center overnight among the exhibits, and we do science programming all night. You wake up and we feed you breakfast with some more science programming as well. So there's a number of different ways in which we engage these millions of people. Our strategic focus. We have 3 strategic pillars that we that kind of inform how we work and our activities. We are the public center for the dialogue for science and society today. We are a vital link in Ontario's innovation ecosystem and a global leader in free choice science learning. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as I go through the presentation. So first, talking about STEM. What is STEM? STEM is simply science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And when we talk about STEM education, it's learning that's focused on these 4 areas. So what do Canadians think about science and technology? This was from the Conference Board of Canada in 2015, and just reading, in case you can't see it as well, the areas in blue. It shows that a survey of Canadians, we are interested in new discoveries and technological developments. We agree that there'll be more opportunities for the next generation because of science and technology. And we say that science and technology is making our lives healthier, easier, and more comfortable. So this is really great, actually, if you think about it. A strong country and society will have citizens that are informed about key issues. It's not just important that it's in the school or it's our children, but it's actually all Canadians. And if we think about the issues that have been in the news recently, the Keystone Pipeline, vaccinations, climate change, a better understanding of what these issues are, why they matter, and the implications of our actions will bring about more informed decision making, both for us personally and as a society. So STEM education and jobs of our future. This is, I'll talk a bit more about careers in a few moments, but this graph is a good and simple visual that shows the projected growth of jobs in the area of STEM. So the red bars are STEM employment, and the first graph, and blue is non-STEM employment. So the first visual shows from 2000 to 2010, and then the projected growth is the next one. You can see how the red bar is increasing in the STEM-related jobs. And this one refers to the outcomes of the decisions to stay in school. So it shows that the greater level of education, we know this, I mean, I think we know this, but it's a graph that will show it, and research has been done, that the greater level of education is related to more employment opportunities and the potential to earn a higher income. And this is in all areas, not just STEM. Now, having said that, Canadian Business, a publication, did a survey in 2015. And this chart notes that in their survey, the best jobs in Canada based on salaries earned. And it shows that 7 of the top 10 jobs are STEM related. Now, so we can look at this, but when we think about our kids, we know that we can't predict what jobs will be in the future. And if you think about it, I know when I was young, if I was, let's say, in grade 8, I would never have imagined positions like, or jobs like website designer, or creating Bluetooth technology so we could talk on the phone in our car. And probably even the fact that we would have cell phones. Everybody would have a cell phone. We couldn't have predicted that. So as much as this does show what the highest earning positions are now, we don't know what it will be in the future. So as far as developing a passion for STEM and a passion for learning, there's really three supporting factors. The formal education system, family, the best predictor of student success in school, and I'm going to be talking a bit about that, and free choice learning. So first, the formal education system. We're very lucky here in Canada to have such a strong education system, and it's vitally important for foundational knowledge for our children. However, keeping in mind that 95% of our time learning is spent outside the classroom in our lives. It is so important, but that's just a piece of the whole picture as far as learning goes. As far as supporting the formal education system, the Science Centre does that. We do it through our school trips, our field trips that many of you have. Kids, have you come on a field trip to the Science Centre? Yeah. It's great. Yeah, probably we did as kids too, right? Even the adults. And so we offer programs that help support the teachers in the classroom. We know that teachers in grades who teach kindergarten to grade 8, those teachers generally don't have a science background. And that's about 75% of the teachers that come. We have about 180,000 school kids and teachers come to the Science Centre every year. And we offer a variety of different programs, from a full-day program on DNA technology in a laboratory to smaller 45-minute programs, maybe on pulleys and gears. We also have a planetarium, and the kids can study the night sky with us. And we are a resource for these classroom teachers who either, as I said, don't have a science background or are a little bit uncomfortable with science and teaching or some of the concepts. So as much as the kids learn when they come, the teachers are also learning about science as well. The other thing that we do with our programs is we can provide resources that the teachers may not have in their classroom, like open flames, and we actually do shows in here as well where there's explosions and we blow things up and liquid nitrogen, things like that. So that wouldn't be in the classroom. So it's a way that we can support that formal learning. But then, of course, the role of the family. Just like we know healthy lifestyles are influenced by family activities and values, these values can also influence children's attitudes about STEM. Ideally, during childhood, people develop a foundation for lifelong learning, and family members play a vital role in helping children develop a joy for learning and an understanding that learning is a process, something that all children and adults do their whole lives. So influencers, according to teens, this was a study done in 2014 and 2015, teens said that, 76% of teens said that parents have a big influence on their education. And that's compared to 24% of them that said teachers do. We know teachers do, but according to them, it's the parents as well, far and above. And 94% of youth agree that their parents are a highly useful source of information when deciding what to do after high school. It's a lot of pressure for us as parents, isn't it? So what do parents say? So this is a recent study that just came out on parental influence. 88% of Canadian parents believe that they can help guide their children's learning. But only a small percent, 28%, of parents actually discuss the value of STEM education with their children. So it's not just about academic proficiency in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or understanding the current jobs, as we talk about even potential future jobs, but it's the cultivating an interest in STEM and understanding why it matters is equally or even more important. As I said, we can't be experts in all of those. We can't be experts in the subject or in the jobs, but we can look at skills as well as parents, and some of this isn't going to show, and the skills that are required. So STEM skills are necessary, but not sufficient for innovation and productivity growth. Leadership, creativity, adaptability, problem solving, etc. These are referred to as 21st century skills. They refer to a broad set of knowledge, skills, work habits, and character traits that are believed to be critically important for success in today's world. So I'm not expecting that you would be able to read through all of these 21st century skills, but I think you'll understand if you kind of do a quick glance that, that these are broad skills that your children are likely already demonstrating now. You as parents have the opportunity to identify these skills when you see them with your children and encourage them. So now to the Science Center, one of the other pillars of influence for our children today. So as I said, one of our strategic pillars is to be a global leader in free choice science learning. So what are examples of free choice learning? Surfing the internet, participating in book group discussions, going on a nature walk, watching documentaries on television, visiting a museum or a science center with your family and friends. These are examples of free choice learning. Free choice learning is about deciding what, where, and how we want to learn over the course of our lifetime. It's the learning that takes place all the time outside the classroom, no matter how young or old you are. And there's a growing body of research showing that free choice is the key to both knowledge of science and attitudes of science among the population. And free choice learning is the hallmark of a Science Center offering. So free choice learning. It contributes significantly to our knowledge and attitudes about science. A study completed in the United States in 2008 was the first of its type to confirm that a science museum can strongly influence the public's knowledge and attitudes about science and technology, and to a surprising degree can cut across racial, ethnic, educational, and economic barriers. It does engage in 21st century skills. Activities at Science Centers such as our weekend programming, our exhibits, our experiences with our staff, the field trips that the students come on during the school year, exploration on their own, on weekends, etc., all support 21st century skills, and we've designed our exhibits and experiences to do so. It also provides memorable early exposure to science. 94% of university students say that a visit to the Science Center when they were younger increased their interest in science and technology. And again, it doesn't mean that they've gone into those career paths. It just means that they're interested in it and they understand the role that it plays in their lives. And the thing about experiences at Science Centers, we remember when we do something as opposed to just sit and learn. When we're actually doing something, we remember it more. It influences our memories and we retain that learning. And it's interesting to know that, I mean, if you wanted to do any kind of understand more about the weather or the tsunami that happened a few years ago, or the Pluto when the satellite took pictures of Pluto, any of these things that are going on in the world, you could sit at your computer and you could actually find out as much information as you probably ever wanted to know. Having said that, we still get about 1 million people coming through our doors every year. So there is this interest in really engaging with science and having that active engagement in a social setting. It's not enough to sit at home and do it. People are showing that they do want to have a different kind of experience in learning. And it's fun. People learn more when they're having fun. And as you know, and hopefully because you've been here before, or hopefully you'll experience it again, it is fun when you have experiences at a science center.
Or just in the finder.
So in conclusion, we believe here at the Science Center that wonder and curiosity, passion for STEM, leads to discovery and innovation. You can't get to discovery if you've not been curious and asked the question why first. And fostering wonder and curiosity at a young age will position children more strongly for the jobs of the future, whatever they may be, and help create an innovative culture that this province and country strives for. Thank you so much. I was pleased to be a part of your day.
Thank you, Catherine. It's a real privilege to be able to be at the Ontario Science Centre. It feels like we're actually in the place where things happen. So, and to have a a woman that's a vice president of the Science Center here in Toronto as our opening speaker, I think is making a very strong statement for our country and our future. So thanks very much, Catherine, and thank you for having us in your house. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute bio break. That means washroom. We're going to be back in 5 minutes at 5 minutes to 10, and we're going to have Donna Kwan, who's from the Toronto District School Board. She's got a very inspiring presentation, and after that we have lunch. So we've also added something into our program, and Mull and I, while we were back in the green room here strategizing, after Donna's talk, we're just going to do a moment of silence for the people in Paris. We were just talking about that. It's a very sad day for our world today. We want to continue the positive energy, and we want to carry on with no fear, but we're going to do a moment of silence afterwards. So we'll see you back here in 5 minutes.
Thank you.